Hello everyone, my name is Alarith Uhde, I'm from Siegen University, and I'm going to present a paper called Towards a Better Understanding of Social Acceptability, which I wrote together with Marc Hassenzahl. So, the central question of social acceptability research is how can we design technologies so that people feel comfortable using them in social contexts? And of course, in order to answer that, we first need a solid understanding of what we mean by social context. So, in the social acceptability literature, social context is typically defined by its features, such as the other people or the category of location, so is it a library or a sidewalk, etc. But here we take a different approach based on social practice theory, and we think that this gives us a better idea of what social context means for technology interactions and in how far it is relevant for us as designers. So, what we do instead is that we define social context based on the situated or co-located activities. So, for example, we wouldn't think of a library as a predefined context category, if you will, but instead think of it as a context in which people read. And similarly, we would think of a nightclub as a context where people drink and dance. And what is important here is that these activities are really what makes the context. So, if maybe one day you go to your local library and you find people drinking and dancing there, maybe because there's an anniversary or so, then we would argue that these dancing and drinking activities in that situation define which other activities are acceptable or not, or at least they are more important than the fact that you are in a library. So the bottom line here is that we should try to design technology interactions so that they are compatible with other co-located activities. And we think that this leads to social acceptability. Okay, so I have a quick example. Think of a phone call. Social practice theory would describe the phone call based on 3 ingredients, if you will, and if they all come together, the phone call can be performed. So, specifically, it needs a certain meaning and some material and competences. In this case, the meaning could be a need for relatedness, so that you want to call your friend. The necessary material includes the phone, of course, your body and voice, etc. And also the phone call, when it is performed, produces noise. Competences include dialing, listening, speaking, etc. So, if you have a phone call in a library, the noise that it produces, which is part of its material, is in conflict with the ability of other people to focus on their books, so with the competence ingredient of their reading activity. So this reduces social acceptability. The same phone call in a park is normally not a problem because it doesn't interfere with others' activities. A third case is if you're on a date and your date probably wants to spend time with you, then the phone call is also problematic, but for different reasons. Again, in terms of social practice theory, we would describe this as a conflict between the meaning of your date, which includes relatedness, and the meaning of your phone call, which also serves relatedness but with a different person. So the point here is that by using these different ingredients of meaning, material, and competence, we can describe different types of social conflicts more accurately and find specific solutions for them. So our answer to the social acceptability question for now would be that to design technologies that fit with a social context, they need to be compatible with the other situated activities. Our implications include that social acceptability is always context-specific, so even for something as widespread as smartphones, there are contexts where they fit and others where they don't. We also think that using a social practice approach gives us a better way to describe social contexts, and to maybe identify common patterns across different contexts. And finally, in our paper we also give an example of how even these incompatibilities can be used in a productive way. And we look at how we can use compatible activities to create positive and not only acceptable experiences. Thank you.